All right, guys, I'm on here. Sorry for being late. It's a rough day, man, but I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna see if anybody got any questions. If not, I ain't gonna be here long, guys. I know I'm starting late, but it's one of them days, man. It's cold out to give, but anyway, I digress. Let me put something in here, guys. Anybody in the chat? You watch this on a replay? It's gonna be a my idea of why a lot of truckers not successful in trucking. And being successful in trucking, you gotta be intentional. All right, hold on one second. Let me put in the chat right here. Any questions? It's also gonna be a Q&A, so you guys watching on replay. I'm just stopping what I'm talking about to actually start questions. That's the purpose of this. But if not, I got a topic just in case. And the chat. All right. I know I'm late. Sorry about that, guys. I'm super late today, but what's going on, deal? How you doing, man? All right, guys. So I'm gonna get started, man. Just get this on chat. And I'm not gonna be in here super long. Yeah, if you got any questions, anybody on here got any more questions, you can put in the chat now. But if you gonna be a trucker, man, I'm just gonna start rambling on. Hopefully something comes in the chat. If it don't, I ain't worried about it. Right now my eyes, they're bugging big, man. Anyway, you want to be successful in trucking, you gotta be intentional about it. It's not gonna happen by accident. And when I say successful, I want to up here, but it looks so uncomfortable. I'm gonna look down here, guys. So I'm looking down, looking at the screen. You want to be successful in trucking, man, you got to be intentional. You got to be real intentional about the moves you make, the money you save, and how you invest your money. Whether you want to be a business owner with multiple trucks, or you just want to be a one-man show and really find out how that works for you, not having to be in a hustle bustle or rat race. I got a video coming about that. You gotta make intentional moves. It don't happen by accident. You're not gonna be you're not gonna fall into the wealth of understanding of trucking. You're not gonna fall into wealth of having what to do with your money. You're not gonna know what to do with it. You got to figure that stuff out. If you ain't intentional about it, nobody gonna put you to the side and tell you, hey man, you should do this with your money. So you have to keep working every day and hard as you do every single day. I found out the hard way. So I'm just talking as if this is the replay right here. To some guys coming to chat. I know I'm late, but excuse me, please forgive me for that. And I want to keep my word. So I started not to get on live tonight anyway, man. But I was just, guys, I'm trying to hold my word to this. But I'm doing pretty good. I'm late, but I'm here. So a couple things. I will have a couple steps to be successful in trucking. Find out where you want to go. If you don't know which way you want to go in trucking or how you make trucking work for you, find somebody who where you might want to be or head down that road. Put them to the side, pay them a couple of dollars. Say, hey man, show me what you know about this. That way they'll give you options. If you don't want to do that, then you figure out what do I want to get out of trucking, and then devise a plan around that and start executing right away. It's a saying, someday is on the road to nowhere. So if you say someday I'm gonna do this, one day I'm gonna have this much money saved, one day I'm gonna have all this other stuff. Yeah, this live, bro. I'm glad you asked the question a long way, cause I wanted to be like to play like play as if it wasn't live, cause nobody was in the chat asking questions. So it'll play smooth on the replay. That's the purpose. So one day is on the road to nowhere. So if you want to be intentional with trucking, you gotta be intentional off the bat. If you're not gonna get far in trucking, man. Hitting the reset button a lot. And I keep saying this a lot. I keep saying this a lot. You guys only knew the stuff that I get questioned on, man. It's like it's monotonous. It's like it's the same stuff. And I'll be like, I don't think some people just don't get it, man. I don't know. They think I guess I thought like that too at one point in my life where I thought, well, maybe I would I'm different. It ain't gonna happen to me. I look up 20 years like, well, I would say because right now it ain't like that. I know I'm going to trucking now, like the last 5 years or so. But I looked up 10 years in the past, and I'm like, keep hitting that same reset button, man. Same reset button. All right, hold on, guys. I got a question in the chat. All right, Long Way Fargo says, what do you think about 304E cat motor? I'm not a fan of cat, man. I'm gonna tell you why. From on an operator perspective, if your pockets could afford it, I say go for it. It's dependable, but I know guys that got cat motors, and I'll be honest with you, Long Way, I don't even know what 304 3406E cat motor is. I just know it's a cat motor. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think they make cat motors anymore. They did. Somebody put in the chat they do. So getting parts on things that engine more for semis. I think they make them for like tractors and all that stuff still, but I don't think they make them for semis anymore. So as an owner operator, a one-man show, if you want power, you pull in like steel, you pull in like heavy stuff. You know, you need the drivetrain, you need the motor and the power for it. I would say get a cat and your pockets could afford it. But if your pockets can't afford it, because when them cats break down, they cost a lot of more money to fix than the Detroit. Well, the 60 series Detroit, I would say. The what's that called? The 60 series. What's that other one? It's not the 14 liter, but the 12 liter thing it is. It's 12 liter, 10 liter. I don't know. One of them boys. You know what I'm saying? So to answer your question, a long way before I go. Now, if you can afford it, get it. If you need the power, get it, because they got power. Even a small 12.7. Thank you, long way. 12.7. Yeah, dumb engines. They cheaper to work on than the cat. You know what I'm saying? So as far as like being a one-man show, I don't know your situation. I'm just assuming off of what the question was. Having a fleet of them, if your pocket can afford it, you haul heavy, then yeah, I would say get it. You got the power. But if you ain't hauling heavy and you can't really, your pockets get that deep, I don't know about getting that truck just to have on deck. You know what I'm saying? From a perspective. What's going on, Woods and Bikes? How you doing, man? Any more questions, guys? Leave it in the chat, man. I know I'm on here late, guys. Man, you can see it in my face. Your boy tired. I'm always tired. But I gave my word on Sunday nights I'm gonna do this. So I'm sticking with it. So anyway, being successful in trucking, guys, is not like I don't know if people notice this, but like people say, well, I see the YouTube truckers on YouTube and they doing this and the other. Look where you're watching them at. You're watching them on YouTube, and you see ads playing on their channel. That means they probably getting paid from it. So they are being intentional. They put a real flashy title up there. I made $16,000 this week to get you to watch. So they've been intentional, and I'm not mad at them. The ones I kind of had an issue with, the ones who faking the funk like they know about trucking, they don't know nothing about it, and they just coming in and monopolizing off of some industry they know nothing about. For guys like us who've been in it for a while, we know the ins and outs of it. We've been through the ringers with it. I can't take offense to people who come in, rape the game, and get out, and they don't know nothing about the game. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I digress. Well, what the bike says, how you heard about the truckers in New York City? No, what happened was the bikes. What happened in New York City? You guys might not know this, man, but I don't really well, I'm gonna say it. I don't really follow the news like that, man. I follow like I don't even know how you call it. Certain news I follow. I don't follow all news because it's depressing to me. So now to answer your question was the bikes. I don't know what happened in New York City. What happened in New York City? If you mind, tell us in the chat. Anybody else know about what happened in New York City? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? All right, DL said, what is the best case scenario on being intentional? What are some things that are possible to achieve? That's the question. That is the question, DL. Being intentional means you're not, let's just say you driving. Hold on, DL. Hold on, DL. 1 second. I'm gonna answer it. What the bike says, they're protesting. Okay, what the bike took it back. All right, DL says, what is the best case of being intentional? If being intentional is if you driving a truck, find out how long you're gonna be in trucking. That's intentional. Like, let's just say, this is a good question. I'm finna break this down. Let's just say I get my first time getting into trucking right now, right? When I got into trucking, I didn't have no idea how long it's gonna be. I ain't just gonna be in this long, but I ended up being in this long. So if I was to do it over again, and I got into trucking today, I would say I'm gonna drive a truck for 5 years. For 5 years, I'm gonna have budget and financing. I'm gonna figure out where I want to be, whether I want to grow a fleet, whether I want to stay a company driver, or I'm becoming a self-employed owner operator. I'm gonna figure out one of them 3 things. Once I figure it out, then I'm gonna figure out my financial level of where I'm gonna live. So let's just say I make about the average truck driver make about $45,000-$55,000 a year, right? Okay, so you might bring home 35, whatever. I don't know. Just use an example. I'm gonna live. If you divide 35, because I understand. Man, I'm making this off of what I know now, based off the years of me being out here. So let's say 35,000 And I see the chat too, guys. I see the chat too. I'm gonna get to it in 1 second. Divided by 12. So let's say you bring home 35,000 a year after taxes and then benefits, and let's say you make it, that's $2,916 a month, right? I'm gonna make sure to keep me out the rat race of living check to check. What I would do is, let me focus. To keep me out the rat race from living check to check, be out here struggling, trying to maintain or find better jobs because the bills pushing me. What I would do is I would live below my means. So my monthly income is $3,000 pretty much. I'm gonna try to live off 2,000, have 1,000 next egg saved until I figure out how to invest it. And if I don't know how to invest it, I'm gonna hold on to it, keep saving until I figure out what to do with it. I'm not gonna spend it because I don't know what to do with it, so I'm gonna spend it on anything. So that's one thing. And then secondly, here we go. Hold on, guys. All right. Oh, wait, no. Let me finish deals. What's best case scenario? Living below your means. Find out when you go to work. Find out you go put your money to work for you eventually. So you're not just going to work for retirement. Because we live in a different age now where retirement is something that's so far off for a lot of us that we just spend everything we got now and just deal with that later on. I will do that and start doing that now. I will start an income replacement plan with the money I have, so eventually I can replace my income that I have now, so I don't have to go to work every day as much as I do, and then I can start really enjoying life while I'm still building at the same time. That's being intentional. It's a lot more to this DL, but that's pretty much it. And what are some things that are possible to achieve? If you ask me that, well, anything, you put your mind to anything. I believe once you know your worth and your value as a person or a driver, nothing is impossible to you. Like I'll give you a case in point. Like once I realized my worth as the driver, DL, that like when I had my one-on-one coaching, I gave my price. My price was $250 an hour. Some people, oh, that's too high. Like that's too high to compare to you. But I know the value you'll get in that hour for the $250. And I had some other clients that say $250. That's all you offer. That's all you charge and pay. So, but I knew my worth. If I didn't know my worth, I said, well, okay, well, $250 is too high. Let me get 100. Oh man, 100 too high. Let me give me $50 and we could get on. Nah. Once you know your worth, you know the value you bring to the table. That's some things you could achieve. I'm saying that's kind of your example. You could achieve anything. You gotta focus on what you want to get out of life. Really focus on it, and really make yourself a master at it, so that when somebody come and say something about it, that you may be kind of. A lot of times, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna go to the next questions in the chat, guys. A lot of times we don't know our value, our work, because we're not clear. Once you get clarity about what you want, you could achieve anything you want. I'll leave it on that note. All right, what the bike says, word has it that there's 1,000 to 2,000 truckers protesting starting tonight. I didn't know that, man. That's good to know, Woods and Bikes. Thank you. All right, DL said Jerry Moles achieved a whole lot. I don't know about that successful. I don't know anyone that successful. I don't know how to build a business that big. Should get an academy, man. I'm telling you, DL. I offered an academy. I offered 3 tiers, man. You know, I'm gonna say it real quick. In academy, we have a trucking business and finance part. How to invest your money passively. That's one option. We have another tier where you get learn about intermodal and how to make intermodal local trucking work for you, and also with your investments and all that stuff. We have another tier where it's what's the other tier? That's crazy, man. It's a third one. Owner, operator, and business building, how to build your dream team. So them 3 tiers we have. And how to build a business, whether you want to be a small business or a big business, I think that falls upon the owner, operator, and business building tier. So we show you how to do that. It ain't hard as you think, to be honest with you. All right, Woods and Bike says, Mother Trucker, Asian Ma, and a Big Med on here informing folks. Oh yeah, I watch them. I watch both of them. There's them good YouTube channels. You guys haven't checked them out, go check them out. It's good stuff, man. Ideal income replacement plan sound awesome. Yeah, man, that's the goal. Do you know that retirement, man? Like retirement. Think about retirement for a second, guys. A lot of us don't think about this. Retirement is you work so long, you put money into this account, but it pays you interest. It pays you a dividend to live off of. A dividend is the money you receive from an investment you made, right? And what happens is that money's supposed to hold you over after you finish working until you die. That's what retirement is. So income replacement program, you can do that now. You can invest your money over time while you still actively working. So that way when it can start paying you dividends while you still working, it's enough to replace your income now. So you go to work because you want to, not because you have to. Now that takes time. That might not happen overnight, depends on your financial state. Now, if your finances is good, you got enough money, enough bread to invest in and get a return right away off of it, you're in a good place. But the average person don't have that. So you got to be intentional about that. That don't happen by accident. So anyway, What the Bike says, that's good advice. Know your worth. Don't work for cheap. Absolutely not. That's good stuff with the bikes. No, yeah. But be fair about your worth. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm glad you said it was the bikes because I got this. I have how I want to say this. If you let's say if you charge, how I want to say is without butchering it. If you add value to people, I mean tangible value. Like I'm gonna show you how to run this play. When you run this play, you go get this return or our return on your investment, right? If it's tangible, then let's just say if I charge you $100, but I'm able to make you $600 off of that. That's a fair trade. I'm no more charging 100, but you able to get a 6x return off the money you paid me to learn something to make you more money, right? Now, if I charge you $100 and you get nothing back in return from nothing I told you or taught you, then that's not a fair trade. You're supposed to get at least what I give you, information I give you, get that in return, equivalent to it or more or excess. That's when I say add value and know your worth. So yeah, I wouldn't just go charging people a bunch of money and knowing that the information I'm gonna give you and you're not gonna be able to get that back. That's not you. If you do that, you probably get one sale, maybe two, but you ain't get no long-term reoccurring customers because they gonna realize you're a fraud. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about that fraud life. All right, DL says Jerry Moyes built Swift Transportation. Yeah, man. You know what I was doing the other day, man? DL, this is crazy, but I was doing it. I was looking up who started JB Hunt, what their name was, who started Night Transportation. And if you look at how they started these companies, what they did was you had the entrepreneur, you had the manager, then you had other people that fall under that, right? And there's more details to this, but that's the basic gist of it. So you had a guy who had the vision, who had the ideas. He didn't know everything that he wanted to do, like especially with JB Hunt. I found out about JB Hunt. I forgot his name, what the JB stand for, but anybody know it, put in the chat. But he drove over the road for 20 years before he started JB Hunt. And when he started JB Hunt, he was pulling I don't know, what's that straw? What's that stuff he was pulling? Some type of grain or something? I don't know, whatever stuff he was pulling. And then what he did was he realized, okay, man, he almost went bankrupt a couple of times. He owed people money. And he realized, okay, I can do this on my own. So he brought in some help. And when he brought in the help, the people to take his crazy thoughts that he got in his head and help him grow his business, that's when he grew into JB Hunt you see today, because he brought in help. He paid people. That's what I'm saying. People will be so cheap. They want premium. I said this about some containers I was pulling. Them cheap boxes, them EMHUs. I shouldn't even say that because YouTube might do something to me. But anyway, it's out there. So they want a premium product for cheap prices, right? The world don't work like that. How you go, like I get people, they make business propositions to me sometimes. Like, hey man, you know, I want to be able to grow big. I want to do this and the other, right? And then they tell me, I say, well, okay, well, cool. Well, my times will cost this because I'm gonna get you the results, but I don't have time to give you like that. Unless you catch me out somewhere, we stuck in the same area and we just talking. It's like when I had a mentor, one of my mentors, I'm actually was stuck somewhere with him because that's how I met him. We were just sitting in line talking. And I'm like, oh man, this dude is really smart. So I kind of looked up, you know what I'm saying? But eventually I ended up paying him because his worth, his value was just so worth it. I ended up paying him, but I don't think if I would have ran into that dude that way, I would have been able to have access to him like I did because it was just the right place, right time. So, but I believe in you gotta pay people their worth, man, because if you don't, you can't get it back in return. How could you expect to charge somebody something you ain't willing to pay yourself? That's the part that tripped me out. If you guys only knew, I just hired another business consulting company. I hired coaches and I'm gonna say this. And I'm gonna get back to the topic at hand. I ain't gonna do my rant. Hold on. Carlos, what's going on, Carlos Carrasco, man? What's up, Primo? What's going on, bro? Guys and gals and gals and gals. I'll say it one time. What's going on, YouTube? Trucking Life here one more time, guys. Guys and gals and gals and gals. Yeah. Anyway, I'm back. Woods and Bike says it's up to the student if they got anything back using info that was shared. Yeah, man. But you know what? Something, Woods and Bikes. I would say this, man. That including me too. I'm gonna say this: when I got stuff for free, sometimes I took it for granted because I feel like, cause you ain't paying nothing for it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's free. It's the same. When you pay attention. The person probably can watch this on the replay. Oh, guy reached out to me. A brother reached out to me last week, right? Telling me he wanted the discount thing, right? And I told him, hey man, I don't do the coaching thing. I don't want coaching thing no more. I said, man, because this dude is like really, really harassing, man. Like he's really hounding me. So I said, you know what? I'll do it for you one time, man. I said, I'll tell you what, you can pay me for an hour. We'll get on the phone and talk, right? You know what he tell me? All right, man, I thought we put family and friends, man. What's up with the discount? I just put question marks. Let's see how far you get. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, Woods the Bike says it's up to the student. Okay, Charles says, yo hub dub. What's going on, Charles King? I don't know what that means, man, but shout out to you, man. But anyway, back to the point of the video, guys. Hold on. Got another question. It's the purpose of this, so it'll be full. All right, Carlos, I don't know what's your last name, Carrasco. I'm guessing I said that right. I'm sorry if I said it wrong. All right, working on obtaining my CDL license. I'm happy with 75K a year. Wife is a mortgage lender. That's all I need to be good. Dig good 2-5-year run. You think it's a good 2-5-year run or look for another career? I'm from Chicago. You talking about far as like, should you get your CDL to get the 75K for a good 2-5-year run? That's what you're asking me, Carlos? I want to answer that, but I want to make sure I'm answering it right. Well, I'm gonna start answering what I think it is until you reply back, so it's not no dead zone in his replay. Okay, he said yes. All right. Well, I got a question for you before I answer that. The question is, do you value your time? Like right now, with your wife being a lender, how much money do y'all make a year total? What do you do right now for a living right now? Do you have time? Is time important to you? Because when you start driving trucks, your time it goes out the window. Trucking is a time-consuming industry. Now, if you want to sacrifice 2 to 5 years of time and kind of work from home and sell on eBay, do you do good doing that? Because you make 75K a year, you got after taxes, you probably bring. I'm just guessing. So, are you able to make that doing what you do now? And my other question is, after you make 50K take home selling on eBay, man, I wouldn't even. Okay, look, let me back it back a little bit. If you want to drive trucks, just try something out new, have at it. You know what I'm saying? But if you got somewhere you're trying to go, which will bring me to my another question in a minute. I'm gonna get to that in 1 minute. If you got somewhere you're trying to go, once you make that money, what do you plan on doing with that money so you don't have to keep doing the same thing over and over again to keep making the same amount of money time and time again? Because what I'm saying is, like, if you got the 50K take home, what are you doing with 50K take home to multiply that? Because then the same question will come up if you're driving a truck, spend a lot of your time in doing that with the ups and downs, the volatility, the strikes, the man, 1 week your check is this, the next week is down here, or you might have some real high highs, you might have some real low lows, and you have some in betweens. All the up and down the roller coaster, you gonna end up with the money you make off of doing all that and your time spent. What are you doing with the money from that? And what you gonna do with the money from the 50K take home to multiply it? That's my question. So that's gonna determine what you do. Now, if you just want to keep making it, just to keep making it, you might stick with doing what you're doing right now. And if you want to drive a truck and no matter sacrificing your time, then drive a truck. Trucking is one of them things, man. Like, whereas you have to really, like I said, at the top of this video, you got to be intentional, man. If you ain't, when I mean intentional, you go to work. You go to work to get money back from the work you're doing, to invest the money to work for you. So you working and your money working. Eventually, your money catch up with the work you doing, and now you can really enjoy yourself, enjoy your life. Like Woods and Bike says right now, trucking is a lifestyle. It is, man. It is. But when I'm out in that truck, Woods and Bikes, I don't even consider myself a trucker, man. I call myself de-truckerizing when I'm out the truck. I'm I don't I'm a regular dude. I'm a civilian. So and that ain't even a knock against trucking. That ain't trucking. I'm not that dude, man. I know it may seem like I'm that trucking dude. I'm just that dude who's just trucked out to the end of the world. I'm not him. I'm just from the land to make it happen, man. I just make it happen. What I got. All right, Charles King says OTR, regional daily. You ask me that question, I would say daily, man. I'm home daily, man. I did the regional. I did all three of them. Daily is cool with me. And don't get me wrong, daily you may work hard because you hopping in and out the truck, you dropping and hooking, or you running around. I'd rather do that than me sitting in some truck stop, man, just watching time go away, man. That ooh, that I don't even like stopping there to get fuel. So let alone sleeping in them things. All right, Woods and Bike says, my 2 cents is if you're new to trucking and just testing the waters, it may be a good idea to go company driver, not have the headaches and hassle owner operators do. Yeah, I mean, I would, but again, yeah, I mean, it all boils down to what you're trying to get out of it, man. Like Woods and Bike said, if you're just testing the waters, then yeah, go company. Because I wouldn't even dip my toe in owner operator if you ain't serious about it, because whether you're serious about it or not, the seriousness will come along with it, and you can realize how serious how it really gets when it get real. From anywhere from possibly getting sued because your equipment fell off and hit somebody, and now they want to sue you, or your truck break down, and you got the money to get it fixed, or you working good and you spending good, and hard times or slow times come right out the blue, and you realize how I'm gonna make my truck payment or how I'm gonna make the rent or the mortgage next month because the work is not there. It's not I don't know, man. It's you gotta have your head on right, man. To really own operator just to be in trucking period, you gotta have your head in the game and you gotta understand where you want to go. You gotta have a good idea where you're going. Cause it's like this. Reason a lot of people quit intermodal, and I see you, DL. I'm gonna answer that. And Charles says yes daily. Okay. A lot of people quit intermodal because they don't see an end at the end of the tunnel. They don't see a light at the end of the tunnel, right? So if I get into something and it's crazy, it don't have to be intermodal. But I'm just using intermodal as an example because the high turnover rate in intermodal is super high because guys get in it, they like, man, it's just the equipment is so crazy, the stuff is so crazy, and then they don't see the end of the tunnel, so they like, man, this is gonna be life. I'm out. I'm out now. Which I ain't mad at them. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at them. But when you understand, you go to work for a purpose. You taking your money, you go deal with. That's why I deal with all the stuff I deal with sometimes in a mode because I know I got a purpose now. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was dealing with it on camera, I was showing YouTube people out here who want to do this. I'm building a brand and I'm dealing with everyday life because a lot of people don't know them videos you see of me in the motor and the rail yards. I'm actually got to get that done to make my money for the day. You see what I'm saying? I just took time out to video it. That's it. But if I don't get that done that day, I don't eat. All right, Woods and Bike says, oh no, that ain't no Woods and Bike says, do you have any hustles outside of trucking? Do I have any hustles? I have investments. As far as like hustling, nah, my truck it's a hustle truck slash business truck. And it's like a long story behind that. But I no, at this point in my life, I'm trying to can the hustles, man, and really create thriving businesses. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no trying, I am. I'm creating businesses that thrive. So because the hustle is, in fact, let me look at the Google machine. Hold on. Because a hustle is something you using I use the hustle to compensate for some extra funds I needed. Let me look up the definition real quick. If my phone worked, unbelievable. There we go. Here we go. I'm trying to leave too much dead space in here, so I'll keep this up. All right, hustle definition. Hustle right here says force someone to move hurriedly. It's a long word I can't even pronounce. Let me try to find a different definition. Obtained by forceful action or persuasion. Busy movement and activity. I like that one. That's a noun one. Fraud or swindle. All right, busy movement and activity. So think about that for a second. Busy movement activity or hustle. A hustle is to get you to your next move, to eventually get you to more solid steps so you don't have to hustle no more. So I hustle, that should be serve a purpose. Let's say you got your regular covers this, like your main trucking job that covers this, and then this covers your living expenses, your car notes, insurance, blah, blah, blah. But it's not enough to put enough up to save no money because you probably just living check to check. The wolf is at the dope, right? So then you create a hustle. This hustle is not for you just to go on trips and stuff. Otherwise, it's always going to be a hustle. This hustle, you take this money from this hustle and you have this money to invest in something else, whatever that something else is, to be able to eventually replace some of the stress of this income over here. That's what the hustle is for. So to answer your question, I don't do no more side hustling no more. At this point, I'm building the businesses. King Charles says true. King Charles says I'm intermodal. Shout out to intermodal. Hub Dub left Snyder. Hub Dub left Snyder. Well, okay. King Charles says government contract. All right. DL says some people drive Uber on the side, some do crypto, some invest in stocks and etc. Yeah, all it could be a hustle. I drove Uber and Lyft for right before the pandemic hit. I think 2020. I drove for like 5 years doing Uber and Lyft. It's a hustle. But I was taking that money and I was putting it in other places that really, and actually, to be honest with myself, to be honest with you guys, a lot of that money I was doing, I was compensating for the money I wasn't making as owner operator. So that hustle was like to keep me afloat. Because being an owner operator at that point was like, because the autonomy of being an owner operator fit my situation a lot better. You know what I'm saying? That my situation would have been different. I would have quit Uber, Lyft, and I would quit being an owner operator. I would become a company driver, and I would have had another plan. I would just dumped the original plan I had, went back to the drawing board, and started from scratch somewhere else. But the way I was too far into my other plan where I couldn't just let it go. So that's a hustle, DL. Who that DL said that? That's a hustle. And even in stocks, I got stocks. I invest in stocks. I got even Acorn. I shout out to Acorn too, man. Anybody who not really in good investment, but you use like your debit card or something all the time, and you want to invest your money without investing your money, Acorn is a good one. So every time you swipe it, take the change that you have left over of $1 and then invest it for you. I've been using that for years, man. Shout out to them. And that's just building. I don't even I look at it every now and again to see what it's doing, but all the little extra change I got, instead of keeping it in a drawer in your house and your thing, it's being invested for you. So stocks, I got all that. And you have to hide that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I'll buy a whole type of guy. I'm not a trader. I was actually, somebody asked me before on the live, what would I be doing if I was a trucker? And I said I'd be a full stack developer. Will I be a full stack developer? Will I be a copywriter? Will I be a full-time day trader? And the list go on and on and on. I won't be able to be remote and make decent money. All right, so King Charles, do we know any government contract driving? Actually, I really can't say I do. I don't know. I don't know if anybody else do, but I don't know now. Because I really wasn't looking for it. You look for something, you'll find it. I wasn't looking for it, so I never found it. Woods and Bike says there's military contracts in Vegas and Cali, and all they do is move vehicles from Vegas to Fort Aaron in California and Cali. There you go, King Charles. Woods and Bikes put an answer in there for you. See, even with stuff like this with community, like this chat, stuff I don't know. I'm not even into that, so I don't know. But Woods and Bikes is. And Charles got his answer. Charles says, nice. Shout out to Charles. Shout out to Woods and Bikes for the answer too. But being intentional in trucking, man, you have to be intentional with everything you're doing in life, man. Not in a manipulative way, but you have to. You have to. Earl Nightingale, I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he had a saying, the definition of success. This the best one I've heard. Success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That means success is not it's not a dollar figure. You know what I'm saying? Success actually, let's say you want to do something and you actually start going that way, you are technically being successful. But a lot of us ain't successful because we don't know where we're going. So we just floating And then we stressed out and we reach burnout and we just quit and we start all over again. We get frustrated again. We say, I'm gonna do it, burn out again, and we quit. Before you know it, all these years in the past, you keep hitting reset. But I got a question. All right, Ricardo, what's going on, bro? Intermodal is okay hourly? Yeah, man. I know some guys kill. Man, look. Now I didn't know this when I got to intermodal as an owner operator. I didn't get in as a company driver. And I got a buddy, he was an owner operator. He lost his truck, something happened with his truck, and he ended up going back company driver, but he stayed in intermodal, right? And now he got this job, man, where he's making, quote unquote, bringing home $1,800 to $2,000 a week as a company driver getting paid hourly. I'm gonna let that hang for a minute. Especially if you get tangled up in the rail yard too, and you get paid hourly. What if you gotta get a flip? Some of those flips could take 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours to get a flip. You get paid hourly. You could tell, and I'm gonna get to you 1 second. I'm gonna get to you in 1 second. Woods and Bikes. I think that was you. I'm gonna get to 1 second. You could tell when you're in a flip line this long, you could tell the ones getting paid by the hour and the ones getting paid by the move. The ones getting paid by the move is trying to cut lines. They looking crazy, head out the window. People in the hour, they got their feet kicked up and they reading a book or they reading some newspaper or they on their phone scrolling. Whereas in us, we trying to flag down spotters. We trying to get about that jam as quick as possible. You know, you could tell the difference, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong, being hourly in that too, it has its downfalls too. But for the most side, you getting paid for all the minute, all the time you spending in there. Whereas in us, we get paid by moving loads or moving empties. All right, Charles King says, right. All right, Ricardo says, I could see that happening. Ricardo says, LOL. Yes, sir. Man, this is facts, man. Charles King, I'm doing that right now. LOL. What, you sit in the flip line right now? Literally hub group. All right, Woods and Bike says, I think intermodal can be a good gig if you're running the business right. Are you UP? Are you on North Lake, huh? Oh yeah. And you know what's in North Lake, man? If you gotta get a flip over there, ain't nobody in that crane all the time, man. You gotta call a number or something. What I do is I hawk a hound harass everybody. So ain't no music playing, is it, baby? Ain't no music playing, is it? Pause it for a second. Pause it for a second. You go over there. Go on there, baby. But thank you, Peanut. Yeah, I don't think nobody really up in I forgot what I was saying, man. Oh, UP, the flip. You gotta get a flip over in UP. That crane, ain't nobody on that crane all the time. So you gotta flag somebody down or call a number to get somebody over there. So guys be sitting over there for, man. I hawk people, man. I hawk, hound, harass everybody. All right, anyway, I'm back. All right, Charles King says 708, right? Hub do hourly, miles and loads. Yeah, Hub Group stopped paying a lot better lately, man. They revamped their whole crew. So when I was there, it wasn't paying like it's paying now. Even the company drivers, I was there before they had company drivers. Hold on. I was there before they had company drivers. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you guys remember me saying that a lot of companies build their business up owner operators, then they eventually get company drivers. People doing it backwards. Hub was one of them companies. They had one company driver, and he drove trucks. He had one guy when I got there, but now they got I don't know how many company drivers. All right, Woods the Bike says you got to hound folks. You got to keep that rig moving, man. Or hounding, boy. I be harassing people. They be like, they get on the radio. I remember this one time. This is a sidebar, so we just talking. I'm just talking right now. And one time I did a video about this too, man. I was so angry. I got to a supervisor. I thought I was gonna get banned out the yard, man. Like really, I lost it, man. I lost it. And the dude was like, he was having a bad day. I was having a bad day. 2 bad days mixed together equals bad day for everybody, man. I was going for broke at that too. At that moment, I didn't care. But anyway, I digress. Which is the bad attitude to have. Try to keep it cool all the time. I mean, that's real talk, seriously, because you'll get a lot further ahead. I'm just glad we both came to our understanding before it got crazy, because it got crazy, man. Like, dude, because I'll get paid by the move, and I've been there, I don't know how many hours, and you go tell me I wasn't right here because you ain't see me in your system, and I was sitting right here. And all I want to do is get the trailer. Y'all got to ship out anyway. Y'all won't give it to me. It's a problem. But anyway, I digress. All right, Charles King says Hub in Chicago, 10K bonus. 4 loads, 12 hours, 600. 4 loads, 12 hours, 600. Hub Group paying a lot better. I'm telling you, Charles, man, look at here. You ever make 600 for one day as a company? That's a company job, right? Or you are your own operator? If I'm not mistaken, I think you said your company. Your company driver? That's what you're saying, right? For you making $600 as a company driver? I say it like this. Yes, you're a company driver. Making $600 a day. Man, look at. Think about this for a second, Charles. Charles, listen to me, man. Listen to me, man. If knowing what I know now, if I was able to make $600 a day without the overhead of a truck note, it's getting cold outside. So now you got to run your trucks and keep them plugged in or whatever. So that's more electricity, more fuel you burn. And anyway, without all the overhead of taking care of a truck, right? And I'm making $600 a day. And all you have to know at that point, all you have to understand is how to keep your overhead low and how to take the save and invest the rest. In 5 years, man, you could be living like a man. If man, Charles, man. Now, the only issue I might see with that, the days you have to work for the 12 hours a day. Don't get me wrong, 12 hours a day, it gets a little weary after a while. But anyway, that's trucking. But it depends on what days you're working. Are you working overnight? I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I'm out. Them lows ain't gonna make it overnight with me. This guy will be somewhere asleep, right? But if it's like daytime and it's like decent hours, like Monday to Friday especially, and the hours ain't too early, like 3 o'clock in the morning, I got it saying, anything before 3 o'clock in the morning is the day before to me, man. If I gotta start there early, I'm not doing it. But anyway, I digress. But if it's decent hours and I make that money and I know what to do with it, I know what to do with it now. I could take that $600 and flip it. I know how to do that. But man, Charles, I'm gonna say it like this: you're in a decent position, man. And actually, back to what I was saying about the what's the title of this video? Successful is intentional. Being intentional, that's what it is. How would I flip it? How would I not flip it? That's the question. What you mean? DL said, how would you flip it? Man, look at here. They have, like I said in our last video, man, they got crowdfunding you can invest in where people, you have project development companies where you could invest in as a silent partner. You could take your money. Of course, you read the details, you do the research on the company at first. This is one hack in case you guys want to know some stuff. You could do, like, let's say you want to get to real estate, but you don't want to take the overhead of having to like really just go out there, find the properties and you evaluate the properties and try to find the financing for it. And you're trying to do all of the ripping and running. You just want to put your money into it and you want to get some money back off of it, right? So they have people where you could invest in a company like private stocks, kind of similar to that. And you put so much money into it. The more money you put into it, you get a dividend, a return after I think a year or so. Something different than the terms of the contract, right? But what you're doing is you're putting your money into it, and they doing the work. They got the people to go look for stuff. They got the property managers. They got developers. They got the everything you need. All the other stuff that you don't want to be bothered with. You just want to get your money back. That's all you want, plus interest. You could take your money and put into it, and you could have it build it up over time. They make you 8% return. Some places I've seen give you 12% return. That's just one. And I mentioned about the peer-to-peer lending. You could be a hard lender. You could, that's $600. That's what? That's $1,200. That's $2,400. Let me see. That's $600 a day. Matter of fact, let me do the math on that. I mean, let me get detail real quick. What time is it? All right. Okay. Cool. Let me see something right here. $600 a day. Let's say you probably bring home, I don't know, $600 a day. 500 average. Would you bring home 500 average? Okay, 500 times 5. 2,500. Say after taxes, you probably bring home about, let's say you bring home 1,700. 600 weekend. Okay, I'm confused, Charles. Too many numbers getting thrown out, brother. What are we doing here? I'm gonna take the 500 average. That's after taxes or that's before taxes? Probably before taxes, right? Let's go with that. All right, so that's $2,500 a week, right? $2,500 a week after taxes and health insurance and all that other stuff. Let's say you bring home, I'm gonna say 1,700. I'm gonna say 1,700, right? $1,700 a week times 4. That's almost $7,000. That's six. Let's say you bring home. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a perfect scenario with everything working out right. The truck not breaking down. The loads being, Let's say you do this for like 2 months straight with no problems, right? You bring home $1,700 a week. That times 4 is $6,800 a month. Let's say you did it for 2 months. Oh, hold on. That's $13,000 $600 for 2 months. Let's say your living expenses for the household is, I'm gonna say $2,500. I'm just gonna throw it out there. 13,000 minus 5,000. That leaves you $8,000 in 2 months that you can save and invest. I'm just giving an example. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't know what to do to invest, I'm gonna say this: if you don't know what to invest in, or you don't know what to do with that money you got, invest in somebody else that know what to do with the money to show you what to do with the money you have left that you didn't invest in them with. Because it's only so many things we know ourselves. Like you gotta be versed in a lot of things to kind of make this thing work for you. So if what you don't know, somebody else do. So what I would do is I'd keep stacking my money till I find somebody else. You gotta be intentional about that too. Who could help me flip this money? Who know finances? You're a trucker, man. So don't only watch trucking channels. I'm gonna say this. Watch Earn Your Leisure channels. They got good information on that. What's that other place called? What's that one called? What's that place called? That channel called? Dang, man. Bigger Pockets. You can watch that. I watch Social Proof podcast. You could be a trucker all you want, you know what I'm saying? Unless you want to invest in trucking, then I will watch different trucking things about investing in trucking. Get from the mindset of I'm just a trucker, I'm just a driver, to I'm a business owner, even though you're a company driver. See, a lot of people think we got to have a business separate from what we're doing to be a business owner. That's why I said in one video, people always say, man, why don't you manage your own business? What business they talking about? Your business of life, your business. Because if your life out of control, everything else could be out of control. If your business is out of control, everything else is out of control. So do you have a business whether you want one or not? It's just what you do with it. Do you know you got one? That's the question. But anyway, I digress. What am I saying? Oh yeah, being intentional. Like that's a good point of being intentional right there, Charles. You go to work, take that money you got left, invest it. If you want a car, I'm gonna give you an example. I got this thing. This is an academy too. It's called the financial fitness, like the financial fit. To find out where you at financially. Because a lot of people think when they're company driver, I gotta make more money, so I had to become an owner operator. That ain't the case. Once you find out where you at financially, you will see where you at. So let's just say you living at 60% of your income of the house of the month. You have 40% residual income. We'll let that sit for a minute. You could divide that up to different categories where you could take some of it and invest, where it ain't compromising your livelihood, right? So until you figure that number out, I wouldn't become an owner operator just to make more money, because you might have enough money in what you're making right now, you just don't know what to do with it. And another thing too, I see a lot of problem people have is what's the word? I want to say this nicely. I don't want to be politically correct. I just want to say it nicely. People invest a lot of their time, especially truckers. A lot of truckers I know, they invested a lot of their time in non-productive activity. Either being on the phone all the time talking about a bunch of nothing, or they watching a bunch of nothing on Facebook Reels. I tell anybody that truck you in, when you're in that truck all the time, it's a classroom, man. You got to learn some stuff. If you don't learn some stuff while you're in that classroom, you're going to be stuck in that truck until it's over with, because that's all you know. And then, see, here's the thing too. Here's the caveat to that. This is what I'm saying. I actually like driving trucks. I don't like the fact that I have to drive trucks when I don't want to drive trucks because I have to drive them because the bill's pushing me up the road. Did you get that? I know you did. All right, so if you didn't get it, this is what I'm saying. If you're able to have enough income coming in so that if you that day you say, I don't want to go to work today, and you just don't go to work today, but your lifestyle will get cut off next week because of that one day you missed. I'm gonna say something like this: how you ever had on vacation, knowing you really couldn't afford the vacation, but you was about to reach burnout, you said, skip this, I'm gonna take care of myself. I'm tired of taking care of all this other stuff, these bills don't get paid, blah, blah, blah. Then you go on vacation, thinking about, man, dang, I gotta do this many days overtime, will make up for this. I'm spending too much money here. I'm spending money I ain't even got, but I skip it. Me or the job, me or the bills, I'm gonna do me. And then you get home, now you're really stressed out. You realize reality hits you. Now you're like, man, they don't let this happen. You come back to work, you're gonna work a couple of days overtime, whatever, and they tell you, oh, we super slow, go home. Now you're really stressed out. What's crazy? My problem was when I was living check to check and stuff like that. I'm not doing that no more. So I found out I learned some stuff. The extra money I got, I invested it. I hire coaches and stuff all the time, but I invested the money I had to learn other skills to be able to get out this rat race, right? So before I even did that, the problem I had was my money was going to like I was trying to take care of everybody else, and then when it's time for me to get taken care of, there was no rescue, which is the same problem you'll have if you spending what you don't have. So trucking is a good career like anything else if you know what to do with it. If you don't know what to do with it, it could be poison. If you know what to do with it, it could be sunshine and rains, even though you had them bad days. So being intentional in trucking, guys, I'm gonna say this. How long have I been on here? I've been almost an hour already. Jeez Louise, man. Being intentional with trucking is knowing why you go to work, man. No problem, Charles. No problem, Carlos. The reason you go to work is to put your money to work for you. Don't just be I don't want to say it like this, but I'm gonna say it. Don't just be a dumb trucker, man. A lot of us being titled that, like we just stupid. Like I be having conversations with people outside. Like there's one person, I ain't gonna say their name because I don't even want to say it, but I learned a little about a lot of things, and then some things I'm really interested in, I try to master it, right? Whatever it is. So anyway, I was talking about neural patterns, right? Anyway, I told this person that in order for them to change the way they was thinking, they got to change the neural patterns in their mind by regrouping it by different activities over and over again to get their mind to be on a different level. You know what they told me? I thought this was a truck driver. I was like, what does that mean? What do that mean? You know, like what? I'm supposed to just talk trucker all the time? But I ain't even get mad at them because the simple fact are known as you just a truck driver. They think truck drivers make a lot of money and just dumb. Man, some of the smartest people I ever met would drive a truck. That sparked my mind to think about more things than just driving a truck. It took me 10 years to finally get a halfway plan together, but it sparked my thoughts. I'm like, man, this guy's really intelligent, or this woman's really intelligent. And I'm like, man, wow, if they could do that, I could do that. So I started studying different things. I started, okay. And then that's why I'm saying, guys. But anyway. All right, Winter Bike says, I watched another channel of a husband and wife team. They are contracting tow company. Okay. Then went out on their own for a while, but ended up going back to that contract gig because the freight rates are so bad. To a company, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Like, even if you get out there, my thing is this, man. You gonna fail forward. You know, like I ain't say be reckless with it, but I'm just saying if you go out there, have some knowledge about what you're doing and give it your all. And then if it don't work, be able to put your ego to the side and pride to the side, reset. And like what they did, they went back to the contract freight gigs because my thing is if you go out there on your own to make more money, right? That's I would say the driving force for a lot of people make the decisions they make to make more money, right? They ain't the only reason in a lot of cases, but that's mainly the driving force. So if you're gonna do that, my question always comes up. If you make more money, what you gonna do with it? Because if you don't know what you're going to do with it, it's going to find something to do with itself. And then you'll be back to the saying, I'm not making enough money. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And then you ain't looking in the mirror because you the common denominator. When you was making $10,000 a year, you had problems, money problems. You went to making $70,000 a year, you still got problems, money problems. Who the common denominator? So if somebody will get out there, let's say I do contract work and I'm making X amount of dollars a year, and I say, you know what, I can make more money, so I'm finna go out and do something else. So I go out there, I jump out there, and I do it. My question is, my question would be to myself is, if we're making more money, this will cost you probably more time or more of an investment up front, whatever the case may be. What am I going to do with this extra money, quote unquote, that I'm going to make? Just to buy a car? Just to go on vacation? I mean, what is it? Every day I'm in the rail yard fighting, man. When I'm in the rail yard fighting, I know I'm fighting for a reason, man. I got a purpose. I know what I'm doing. I know I got a plan. So I could deal with the days get tough. Don't get me wrong, they get tough. But I could deal with them a lot better knowing that it's a reason why I'm doing this. It's a method to the madness versus me just being out there just fighting a fight for no purpose. Somebody will get tired and go end up quitting and doing something else. And the reason I'm gonna say this, guys, and I ain't gonna be here much longer. If you guys got any questions, I'm trying to make this full so that the replay don't play back a lot of space in it. It's just I'm real passionate about this, man, especially with truckers, man. It's like an epidemic of truckers, man. It just they don't get the flag in the air, man. They don't get the flag in the air, and I'm trying to do my part in sharing my experience with it, so they could see the flag. Say, okay, I could do something different. You could. All right, what the bike says, you see the light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, man, we see the light at the end of the tunnel. You can keep going because you see where you're going. But if you don't know where you're going, what's wrong with you now? Okay. If you don't see where you're going, then you can't finish. You can't even phantom the fact about finishing, because when one hard time come as soon as that little bump in the road come, you quit because you don't know where you're going. That's what I was gonna say. So I was gonna say something else before I read that comment too, man. What was I gonna say? I don't know. I forgot, man. I forgot. Anyway, anybody got any more questions on here before I skedaddle, man? And like I say, this is different from like my regular pre-recorded stuff, because this right here, I try to do this so I could get more questions like answered versus the email stuff. Because the email stuff it gets overwhelming because I just can't. It's just harder. So I don't know. And I'm gonna say this too. If you guys have any question after on the replay, put it in the comments below, because I know this live chat probably gonna be off, but I think I set it for it to be off. I'm not sure, but this might not be on there, so you guys might not be able to see these questions. So you see this on the replay. If you watch it and you got a question, leave it in the chat before. I'll probably start off the next live answering the questions that you guys put in the chat. Well, put in the what's that called? You know what I'm saying? The thing at the bottom. What's that called, man? You guys know what I'm saying? The bottom of the video. All right, Woods and Bike says, is AB foul off a possibility where you at? I don't think so. I don't think so, but you never know, Woods and Bikes, be honest with you, man, because like I said, California is a microcosm for the whole country, man. They trying to be a trendsetter. Ain't no trying, they are. I'm surprised they even, I better stop mentioning states and all that stuff, because, man, people will be, Michael one comments. There you go. Thank you, Michael. Man, brain fog, man. Comments. So thank you. Woods and Bikes, like I said, I don't know Woods and Bikes because you never know. And that state out west is a trendsetter. I'll just say that. Comments. So leave it in the comments below. Thank you, Michael one, man. I couldn't think of it for nothing. If you got any questions, leave it down there at the bottom. And also, too, I'm gonna try to say this at the end of every live. So in case you guys don't make it here, I try to address the comments, the questions in the comments section below. And if I see them, because some comments don't get through, somehow they get like held in like a YouTube box, a quarantine box. So some of them don't come through. So I'm gonna try to check both before the week is up, so I can see if any other questions come through. If not, then try to make the next live the next week, following week. and then we try to address it then. Because I try to, this right here is like people want to get answers and questions. They want questions they want answered. I try to do it live. Like I said, if this thing take up more, I will try to get a phone line so you guys be able to call in and we can be able to talk more like on air. So the case anybody got the same question you got, it'll get answered all at once. You know what I'm saying? I know you do. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna get up out of here. It's been an hour. Trying to go no more than about an hour 5, because people attention spans ain't so long nowadays. Anyway, all right, YouTube. Hope this live was helpful. Give you a little understand what's going on, chat. I'll see you guys in the video. Peace. No problem with the bikes. No problem, Charles. No problem with all, guys. Be safe, man. Uh-oh. I'm thinking it's a touchscreen on phone, man. This ain't a touchscreen on, baby.